Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome along to Arsenal Fan TV. I certainly hope you're enjoying your Boxing Day this Christmas. I certainly am, as Arsenal have just beaten Queen's Park Rangers by 2-1 at the Emirates Stadium. Goals coming from Alexis Sanchez and Thomas Rosicky, ensuring that we got all 3 points in this very festive fixture. And, you know, it was an out of sorts game, let's be honest here. Giroud got a red card, Alexis Sanchez missed a penalty. But I think what's majorly important after a disappointing draw at Anfield was that we secured all 3 points in this game. And going into the fixture, it did look a bit different because we had made a couple of changes. Most notably, we saw Monreal start at centre-back. Callum Chambers was rested. I think it's fair to say that Monreal had a very decent game today. The back line, in general, didn't really have a lot to do throughout the course of the match. However, in that last half an hour, when Giroud had gone sent off and we'd gone down to 10 men, we were backs against the walls, and Monreal certainly was a pivotal figure in that back line. Mertesacker certainly looked a bit more enthusiastic in the defence. He looked a lot more reassuring, and that was good to see from him. But not to get too carried away though, as for a majority of the game, the back line didn't really have a lot to do. But I certainly think in that last half an hour or so, it is confidence boosting and it is resounding from our back line. It's good to see that we can put a little bit more faith in them as we have done in recent weeks. Another change that we saw in the starting 11 was Thomas Rosicky coming in for the injured Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Rosicky really went into this game like he had a point to prove. He looked really exciting throughout the course of the game, and he was involved in practically every attacking move that we had going forward. Capped off an exciting performance with a really nice goal in the second half, which I'll get onto just a little bit later. But this game started really well from my point of view. I thought we played exciting, extravagant, and really captivating football. I certainly felt that we took the game to QPR, and thanks to our ambitious efforts, we got a penalty in the 8th minute through Alexis Sanchez. Great bit of work by him. Lovely bit of link-up play throughout the whole course of the team, and it was good to see that we had a penalty, which could potentially be a starting point for us. And you do think that we could have won this game 2-3, 4-0 if that penalty had gone in. But unfortunately, it wasn't to be. It has to be said, it was a dire penalty from Alexis Sanchez. I don't know what he was doing, playing it along the floor when it was just so slippery and wet. It completely slowed down any momentum that the ball had. It was an easy save for Rob Green. Nonetheless, it was a good save, but it was an easy save for him, thanks to a poor penalty from Alexis Sanchez. But it didn't seem to harm his confidence because his spirit just seemed so high. His work ethic was certainly there, and he tried really hard throughout the course of the game, and eventually did get a goal. Towards the closing stage of the first half, about 38 minutes in, it was great work by Danny Welbeck, Santi Cazorla and Kieran Gibbs to put in such a quality ball into the box. Traore, you can kind of understand why we let this guy go all those years ago. Awful, awful man marking him. He just stopped running. Alexis Sanchez continued his run past Traore, completely unmarked, had all the space in the world, and planted it past Rob Green to put us 1-0 up, which you have to say we deserved. We were completely dominating that first half, and the only real issue was we weren't being clinical when we had to be. So we go into the second half 1-0 up, which was absolutely fabulous, and we come out all guns blazing yet again, and we were really looking to build on that 1-0 lead we had, and we continued to do so until Olivier Giroud completely slowed down any momentum that we had in the course of the game. We were absolutely dominating the game. We should have won this about 2-3, 4-0 if Giroud hadn't got himself sent off in about, I think it was the 58th minute, 60th minute, and it was poor from him. So incredibly unprofessional. The ball didn't go his way, and I don't know what Anua said to him. I didn't entirely see what happened, but the way he reacted was incredibly, incredibly unprofessional. And not only that, it was really selfish of him, because we're now going to miss him in our biggest period of the season, the most crucial part of the season for any footballer in the Barclays Premier League. And he is a pivotal figure in our front line. We're going to miss him. We're really going to miss him in our next few games. I mean, if Welbeck was to get injured against West Ham, then we're in big trouble. I mean, the only other player that we've got now is Yaya Sonogo. He's rumoured to be going out in January. So, you know, it's not good of Olivier Giroud to leave us in that situation, especially at this time of the year. It was unprofessional. It was you know, he barely touched Anua, but he did go in with intention to harm the guy. So in the rule book, that's a red card. Fair enough, the referee got that spot on, in my opinion. So after that, I mean, it really did take the sting out of our play, and we slowed the game down a little bit, and we were the ones backs to the wall defending against QPR. And the only way that we really looked like getting a goal was from a counter-attack. We did make a nice move going forward to make it 2-0. It was great work. Well, it was Alexis Sanchez move, just completely taking the ball out from our half and running towards the QPR goal. Great run by him. Played into Thomas Rosicky, and it was a good shot by him. Rob Green should have done a little bit better, but it did take a deflection. 1-0, couldn't be, 2-0 should I say. I couldn't be happier for Thomas Rosicky to get the goal. It was a great finish by him, although, like I said, Rob Green should have done a bit better. But I think mainly this just capped off a performance that Rosicky thoroughly deserved. I mean, he's barely played for us this season, hasn't really had a chance in the first team. He is 34 years old, but he plays like he's only about 21. I thought he was really impressive today, and I'm hoping that through this festive period he can be a big figure, because we're going to need him. Whilst players get injured, I mean, I don't know how much longer Chamberlain's going to be out for. He could be a big figure in the team, and it was exciting to see him play like that. And if it wasn't for Alexis Sanchez putting in yet another extravagant performance, I'd have Thomas Rosicky as my man of the match every day of the week. But the only real other talking point apart from that was we did concede a goal. It was a penalty. Matthew Debuchy conceding it. I don't think it was a penalty personally. Debuchy got the ball, but he also, you know, he did get the man. It's a heavily debatable one. I personally think as he got the ball, he did get the man as well. But, you know, I've seen him give him, and unfortunately it's a bit of a 50-50 one. Unfortunately, it was given against us. It was a good penalty by Austin. Certainly making a point to Alexis Sanchez. That's how you take a penalty. Straight down the middle. Maybe Szczesny could have done a little bit better, but it was always going to be difficult. 2-1 at that point with 10 minutes to go, 10-15 minutes to go. It was absolutely horrible, and it made things a bit difficult for us because we were the ones majorly defending. We saw Coquelin come on, we saw Chambers come on, and we just overall went a bit more defensive. And there always was that essence that we could concede another goal, similarly to like we did against Anfield. That would have been absolutely horrible, but thankfully we've come out of this game with the win. Of course, there was another bit of controversy towards the back end of the game when Kieran Gibbs seemed to bring down Bobby Zamora in the box, and if I'm being honest, I thought that looked like a penalty to me. I'm a bit surprised that the referee didn't give that, but thankfully he didn't. I don't think the referee had his best game today, but then again, it was kind of a difficult game to officiate given the weather conditions, etc. But yeah, I mean, to come out of this game 2-1, I still think it should have been a lot more convincing. Certainly don't think Giroud helped things. We've got West Ham next. They go into that game on the back of a 2-0 defeat to Chelsea. They're going to, in front of their home fans, they're going to be able to prove a point. It's going to be a very difficult game. Southampton are on really good form as well. We played them on New Year's Day, so we've got some very difficult fixtures coming up against teams that are above us in the Premier League table. If we're to get wins against both of them, that'll put us in a really good position. But then again, these aren't easy away trips, and considering we don't have Olivier Giroud, I'm not counting much against just yet. I do hope we can get the away wins, but it's going to be very difficult against teams that have really impressed this season. I certainly think that going to West Ham, you know, last season when we went there in this period, I would have expected us to get a win, but now when they've got the likes of Alex Song in their side, Kayute, Sacco, Valencia going forward, it's going to be very difficult to break them down, and they've got exactly the kind of players that will cause Mertesacker and co problems. The likes of Valencia and Sacco, small pacey players who are going to run at someone like Mertesacker. Yeah, it's kind of intimidating going into that game, but I'm confident. If Koscielny comes back in that game, then I'm not too concerned. There are rumours that he'll be fit for that game. But whether he'll start or not is another matter. I'll get onto that in the preview, which I'll be doing tomorrow. And if you've enjoyed the video, then be sure to give it a like rating, guys. Subscribe to Arsenal Fan TV. Check out my channel, AFC Game by Game. Have a very Merry Christmas if you're still celebrating it. And as always, thank you for watching, guys.
I was having another one of my blood pressure. My blood pressure pills were coming out again. But no, it was terrible. It wasn't good. They weren't good, mate. No.
The 3 points.